Plenty of Boilermaker buzz in Chicago. Jeff Brohm chatting with the media after a season which saw Purdue make it to a bowl game for the second straight year and pull off one of the more memorable victories of last season, knocking off Ohio State. There's a lot to replace, but still plenty of offensive firepower with Rondale Moore on board, Marcus Bailey leading the way on defense, and the schedule is challenging, no doubt about it. Vanderbilt and TCU both on that schedule. Two Power 5 teams also open up at Nevada in the non-conference. Jeff Brohm is with us, the Purdue head coach. And, Coach, you have made Purdue competitive. There's no doubt about it. You have proven you can beat among the best teams in the country. You knocked off Ohio State in that incredibly memorable game. I was talking with some of your players about this. It seems like the next step is to be consistent. So how do you achieve that consistency?
Well, that is the next step. I think we've, luckily and fortunately shown that we can win some big football games, which is always encouraging and fun to see. But we haven't been consistent. We've had a lot of losses that we should have played better and been more disciplined in our approach and what we're doing. So doing the small things correctly, not beating ourselves, taking care of those things that can get you beat in the end and in the fourth quarter. Winning the close games are important for us. But, yes, being consistent and competing at a high level every week, no matter who we play, is our goal.
Well, you kind of hinted at it, but, I mean, so of your 7 losses last year, 5 of them were by a total of 21 points. So there are a lot of really close games in there. Was there one controlling thread? I mean, I know you study that stuff. You look back on the kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda. Is there one or two things that you can put a finger on and say, guys, we win those 5 games, or the majority of those 5 games if we do X?
Well, I think the first 3 ball games we lost was not good coaching on my part. I think we beat ourselves. We had some late hits, some after the whistle things we did, some undisciplined things that shouldn't happen. I think we got it corrected. And then we reeled off 4 or 5 wins in a row, and we're feeling good about where we were going. And then we kind of stumbled towards the end. And 3 of the 4 we lost at the end. 2 were blowouts, which is what we don't want to see. So, yeah, we have to take a step back. We've got to get some things fixed. We got to make sure we're aggressive in our approach. We got to make sure we're attacking in everything we do. And we have to get better. And I think getting better on defense. Our defense kind of took a step back at the end of the year. Is going to be important for us. And then developing consistency and getting our front 5 ready to perform on a high level on offense is very important.
Give us a sense of the depth behind Sindelar, the guys.
Well, we feel good about our skill positions on offense. I think Elijah Sindelar has a big arm, can throw the ball vertically, can throw it downfield. Keeping him healthy is going to be critical and key for us. Him eliminating turnovers and not, beating ourselves and making stupid plays is important for him. But the offensive line for us is where we're inexperienced right now. We have 2 guys that have played, and they're good players, and Grant Hermans and Matt McCann, but really no one else has seen the field. So while I think we have some good young prospects, they haven't done it yet. So they're going to have to, work hard and get ready to go for game 1 and learn quickly on the job.
You mentioned some of your skill position players. Rondale Moore, we know about him. You guys are going to have to do a great job of trying to find ways to get him the ball. But who are going to be some of the other guys that are going to have to take a little bit of the pressure off of him?
Well, I think Jared Sparks, a former quarterback we converted to receivers, made great strides. He's up to about 210, 215. I think he can be a very good contributor. Jackson Anthrop can get back in the mix as well. And then we've got really, 4 true freshmen that I think are going to play. David Bell is the local guy from Indianapolis that we feel great about, Milton Wright and Rashawn Rice, T.J. Sheffield. All 4 of those guys have shown signs. And then, Ahmad Anderson, a redshirt freshman we got from New Jersey, I think can step in the mix. So while that position is young, I think we have playmakers. I like our tight end position and Bryson Hopkins and his backups, and even 2 freshmen we signed. And I think our running back position, even though we don't have great depth, we like what we have. And it's important to just make sure the front 5 and the guys that we think can play for us, we get out there and they feel comfortable and ready to play.
I think you said earlier today you only have 10 seniors. Have you ever had a team with that few? And what does it do to your leadership?
Well, I think the guys we have that are seniors are good leaders, and they'll do a good job leading. We just don't have many of them. So it does, what it says is we're going to have a lot of guys that haven't played and seen the field on offense especially. But I like the talent they bring to the table. Defensively, I think we have more guys now. We have more experience. We have a good nucleus of young guys that will get in the mix as well and play. So it's just going to be something we're going to have to learn quickly and on the job. But I do think talent level, it can be better than what we put on the field last year.
Does it change your approach as a coaching staff when you have a younger team or younger players that you may have to rely upon?
Yeah, we've got to put our guys in as much game-like situations as we can. So for us in the spring, we had more live action, live tackle, live scrimmages than we've ever had to make sure we do that. When we get to fall camp, even though you got to protect them a little bit, we're going to have to simulate the game as much as we can and put some pressure on our guys and get on the game field and get the scoreboard and lights on and do what we can to try to get some game action before game one.
Coach, I've always asked all the coaches about the portal and the transfers nowadays and all that, and how college football is changing personnel regards. What are your feelings on the transfer and the portals?
Well, I think in general, for me, it is important to do what's best for the player. So I am in full agreement that a player should be able to transfer wherever he wants, and that's important to get done. Now, the transfer portal and how it works, I think there's some deficiencies. I mean, normally you're going to have guys that know where they're going before they get in it, which means they've done some things maybe they shouldn't have, but I don't blame them. Then the ones that don't do that are going to be guys that maybe are left out with nothing because they won't have anything coming back. So it's a little tricky and a little hairy, but in the end, whatever they need to do to make sure we take care of the players and give them an opportunity to transfer wherever they want, if they choose to do that.
You think they should be eligible right away if they leave?
I do not. I think they should sit out a year, and that's my opinion on that. And I think, I'm a big believer in that, because what can happen there is now you're going to have possibly some illegal recruiting going on while you have good players on your own team that you're worried about someone else trying to steal.
How do you maintain the momentum from last year? How do you carry it through with the good things that were done?
Well, fortunately for us, we've made some strides. You guys played and coached the game. I think it's important you make it fun. So we've got to make our guys enjoy the experience. We want to make sure that they're having fun competing and getting better. And, yeah, you're going to get hit in the mouth a few times and get knocked on your rear end and suffer a few losses, but you got to come back swinging. I think for us to win and for anyone to win, you got to take the field expecting to win. Doesn't matter who you play. That means it's not always going to happen, but you have got to expect to win, prepare to win, and then whatever happens after that happens.
What was it like to see Rondell explode onto the national scene in the way that he did last year?
Well, it was great to see because he's a great young man. He works his tail off. He's our hardest worker on the practice field every day. He wants to compete. He wants to be great. He does everything right off the field. He's a guy that we got to develop some playmakers around him. But at the same time, I wanted him to get his touches. And I don't care if a team's going to double team him, triple team him. We've got to be creative and find ways to get him the ball because he's that much of a competitor and he loves to compete that much.
I asked your players about this. I'm interested. One of the big stories in all of college football last year was Tyler Trent and his courageous battle against cancer, and it really kind of came to the forefront in the game that you guys played against Ohio State, and it's incredible the impact that he had on people. We met him when we were on campus for tailgate, and just you'll never forget the optimism that he showed in the face of such a terrible disease. How do you process everything that you guys went through with Tyler, and what impact did he make on you?
Well, he was amazing. To be quite honest, he was the only one that predicted the Ohio State victory, including the head coach. So he had more gall than I did and was smarter than I was. But you know what? To see a young man go through the things he did, to have that smile on his face, that great spirit that he had, the tremendous attitude, to want to continue to achieve things in life, brought inspiration to us as a team first. And then, of course, after that game, the whole entire nation knew about it. So I think it was great for him to see. It brought life to him to see so many people support him. It helped his family. And we want to make sure we do our part to continue to include his family and let them know that he'll always be a team captain for us.
Well, Jeff Brohm, head coach of the Boilermakers. Coach, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.